So we have lots of things that we have lots of irons in the fire. We're always trying to promote programs, find programs, really assess what's going on in Manitoba, and also what's in relation to who's trying to fix me out.
I can't do it down here. You have to do it. Stick that in.
Okay. You carry these things in your purse.
I have a computer in my car. I have a projector just in your car.
See, I think my computer says no, because it's like, I don't recognize, I don't really use this techie stuff. Yeah. Currently, my computer says no.
Good.
Thank you for trying again. So basically, a copy of this is available through the office. So we did hand them out at the meeting, but basically, we're always kind of looking over the industry, trying to see what the trends are, trying to see what makes sense for our organization. And I'm going to talk to you about a lot of the changes that we've made over the past little while. One of the conversations that I had with some kind of sidebar before we walked in here was that the evaluators are often one of our ambassadors, right? So when people come and they meet with you with their evaluation, they have all sorts of questions about where do I go from here, what's the next step, how do I make payment, how does this happen? So some of that stuff I want to make sure that you know, so that when they ask you those questions, you may not know all the answers, but you have kind of an inkling of what happens at that point, so that you're not totally in the dark or giving them false information. So when we look at the total number of leaders, I'm just going to give you a couple slides just to kind of show you where we're at. So we are having fairly steady growth, but it's not very big. So it's, now why is that? So Christine alluded to it a little bit already before. Part of it is drop off. So how many of you, again, have been in the industry 20 years and plus? Okay, few people are starting to retire. And so that is actually a big hit to us, because we had kind of this group of people that was going through, steady and strong, yeah, we're towing everybody else, come on, let's go, right? And so some of those people are starting to retire. So that's one thing that's happening. We do everything we can to convince people not to retire. We say, oh, because you can freeze your membership. Do you want to think about it? Do you know, like everything that we can think of to do to try and get people to stay. Then we have the people who get certified, and at their first renewal say, you know what, it's been fun. I've had a blast, but yeah, I'm not going to renew. Is it the credits? Probably not. I find that it's that second renewal. So if you haven't been doing it a lot, right, you get certified and then you kind of maybe teach a little bit. If it doesn't stick right away, then at that first renewal, they go, well, I can kind of ride it out without going through that evaluation again, but now I'm going to have to go through a second evaluation. So we get probably 10 to 20% drop off there again. After the first year, we get a drop off. We have all kinds of drop offs, unfortunately, and again, it's that it didn't stick, right? So
are you talking about drop off active leaders or just getting certified? Are you talking
so 1 year in, so they've been certified for 1 year. It is now their time to pay their $82 for their second year, and they say, you know what, I actually haven't been teaching. Is it opportunities? I don't think so. There's our job bank is rolling over and over and over. If you actually get on there and scroll down, it goes on forever. And ads come off there not because they need to, but because people are frustrated because they've been looking for an instructor for so long, lots of times that they just say, forget it. I'll just figure this out. I'll run with someone who's uncertified. I'll run with Julie, who's been coming to the program forever. She's just going to pop in and teach it. And then, of course, we say, it really would be great to have a certified leader, but then if we can't help them provide that, then we're kind of in a little bit of a catch-22. Do we say people shouldn't exercise because they have no certified leader? I would love to say that, but at the same time, I need to be somewhat realistic, right? So we don't encourage that, but we do get those kind of calls all the time. So we are having some steady growth, not a lot. Group fitness leaders, so again, it's fairly steady. We're managing to keep our head above water. What we're anticipating in the next couple of years is that we're going to have a little bit of a spike here, and I'm going to talk about why when I get into the next presentation and talk about changes. Resistance training leaders. So we're a little bit down from last year, but then again, what happens is, you get them certified, and depending on what people have, so when someone retires, right, they may have had 5 certifications. So what it looks like, almost, when you look at my graph, is that 5 leaders retired, because it's someone with resistance training, and someone with older adult, and someone with group fitness. So all these different certifications at once, right? That one person retiring eliminates that one position in however many certifications that they have. Yoga fitness, this one I love. It looks amazing. We are starting to get some real numbers in our yoga fitness certification, and I'm going to talk about all our certifications kind of in the next presentation. Individual fitness leader, this one has just been resurrected as of 10 months ago, 11 months ago, and we're starting to see some good growth. With this program, we've been able to partner with a number of organizations, like Winnipeg Technical College has picked up this course, so they've run it already once and it was full. We are also meeting with the Assiniboine Community College in 2 weeks. UCN, University College of the North, is also interested in picking up this program. Why? Because it looks like something more than group fitness. Group fitness is huge. We all understand that, but unfortunately, in the media, they have portrayed one-on-one training as almost all there is, right? So this gives us the opportunity to take 3 courses at once and come out with 2 certifications, resistance training and the individual fitness leader. So it is something that's propelling, but it is a slow process to get people through and certified and that sort of thing. So I think we're going to see a lot more growth in that one in the next little while too. Aqua fitness leaders, I talked about this a lot at the AGM. In Winnipeg this particular year, we saw a deficit of 12 aqua fitness leaders. So all the ones we trained, all the ones that finished, we still lost 12, and mostly due to retirement. The aqua fitness world is suffering, not for lack of participation, but for lack of instruction. Instructors, lack of number of instructors. And we get calls, kind of on a daily basis. I seem to be on some sub lists because I teach as well. So I get these desperate emails, need an instructor in an hour, mine is sick, nobody to call, Stephanie, please go. No. And as much as I would like to drop everything and just go and sub everyone's classes, I'm sorry, I can't actually do that. So that's one that, again, we're looking at. Older adults, it looks like we had a little bit of a hike here. But what happens with the older adult, I find especially, is that people take a long time to get it. And they take a long time to finish it. So this is probably a 2-year-ago number from people that took the course and just kind of finally finished it, got it going, and so then they're reflected in that graph. CSEP members. So all of you probably know that Manitoba Fitness Council is no longer the administrator for CSEP. So we had a little bit of a separation, and now we're back together. It's not the same relationship, but we're making it work. So basically, what this symbolizes right here, unfortunately, is that when the national office took it over, they really didn't think about what the administration of that program was going to look like, and so a lot of people got frustrated. Manitoba Fitness Council, we send you emails, we send you letters, call you eventually if you don't pay your fees, especially for something like CSEP, because if you don't pay your fees, you don't have insurance, and then they don't let you renew again after that. So you actually have to start from the beginning. So it's a little bit more of an onerous process than MFC. If you miss your fees for a month or 2, we'll forgive you. We'll charge you $20, but we'll forgive you. These guys don't. So if you miss paying, and then they give you a couple-month window and you miss that too, then you have to start over again. So unfortunately, there was, I think, a 60-person deficit in this past year, just based on the administration and how that kind of worked. So that kind of was a little bit of a kick in the butt.
I was just going to say, based on that, on Tuesday night there was the renewal of the update course for those people, and they had 4 people in the class. And so I asked the lady, I said, is this how many people you want in the class? Which I was assuming. And she said, no, why? And, why would you ask that? And I said, well, because 2 people I told to come tonight were told this was full. And her mouth just dropped. And she's like, you're kidding me. 2 people and that didn't know that they were, like, there was 2 different emails that went out. And if it wasn't for Catherine telling me, actually one of my friends telling me about it, the email that I got was different from the one that she got. And so she said, I'm going on this. I said, I'll try and get it. So I did. So I told these 2 other people, they said it was full. There was 4 of us.
Yeah, and see that, we don't have control
So
over that.
the
We don't even
oh, I
know that
and
that
that's-
stuff is going on, so.
And that's exactly
Yeah.
what the instructor said. She said, well, there's been a lot of, and so it sounds like it's going on a lot.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because we really want to be supporting CSEP and CSEP members in Manitoba. My computer's gonna take a little bit of a break.
They've had some huge issues with their admin stuff, like sending out like email after email
Oh,
after email
do
after
you
email
mean
after email after email, like constantly and 80
Somebody goes,
attachments.
Stop,
Yeah,
stop.
stop. Yeah.
300
Canadian Society for Exercise Physiology. So because my computer's gonna take a little bit of break, I'm gonna switch to the paper set that you have in your hand. I was kind of gonna be jumping back and forth anyway, but I'll just jump into this until my computer reboots and then I will go back in here.
It's a little bit fuzzy right now.
So the first document that we're going to talk about actually is the PARQ Plus. How many of you know what the PARQ Plus is? A couple of you. Okay. What is that?
Is that the same as Parnet X?
No. PARnet X no longer exists. Yeah. So this is a new document. So this is in the new performance standards for the exercise theory. But the more people that I can actually show one-on-one, we're going to be doing a webinar. We were supposed to do it months and months ago. I had one of the writers of the PARQ actually lined up. So one of the, but she shared her PowerPoint presentation with me, but says she just can't commit to doing it because she's just too busy. So I will be going and doing a webinar where I am reading her PowerPoint, which will work because I can explain it and that sort of thing, but it won't be her. So the PARQ Plus has replaced the PARQ. So the PARQ was a 6-question health screening form. So the problem with it, it wasn't evidence-based at all. Some researchers met, they came up with 6 questions and they said, these questions are amazing. We are going to make a form that says if you answer yes to any one of these questions, you don't get to come to a fitness class, you have to go see your doctor. And so one of the questions is, are you currently taking any medications for any chronic medical condition? So it's kind of funny because I like to use my husband as an example on a regular basis. My husband is not quite yet 40, and if you see my Facebook page, unfortunately I am. He is on thyroid medication. Chronic condition, right? Is he taking medication? Yes. Is he fit and healthy? Absolutely. But he would check yes. They would say, please go see your doctor. He's like, but my doctor told me to exercise, right? So basically what this does is now there are the same similar questions on the front. So some of them are worded a little bit differently than the original PARQ questions. But what happens is if someone answers yes to any one of these questions that is on the front page here, they immediately then go to whatever section it is inside. Then they answer the questions on the inside. What that will probably do is if they have a stable health condition, it will sort them back into the apparently healthy category. So basically what it says is, so taking my husband for example, he will check off in here basically that he has a stable health condition, he is being monitored by a doctor, and his doctor has never said that he needs to do medically supervised physical activity, and he will get to come to the fitness class. So basically what this document does is it actually sorts 97% of the people who used to have to go to their doctor back into the apparently healthy category. So that's pretty huge. The one thing that I love about it even more than the actual form itself is that there's an online component. The online component is amazing. What it does is if, again, going with my husband, having him fill it out online, so he would check, yes, I'm taking medication, it'll immediately take him to the next section and basically verifies what it is that he has. And then it will actually print out a directive for the fitness leader. So it will actually print out something that says, Sean Jeffrey has been cleared for low to moderate physical activity as determined by the PARQ Plus health screening. So he would bring that to his fitness leader, and his fitness leader, probably me, and say, I have been cleared for low to moderate physical activity. That's it. So if you have people do it online, it's amazing because it's a paragraph. Yeah, it's actually, eparmedx.com. Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's on there. So there's 2 versions of this floating around. I have chosen the original version. The other version has the CSEP logo on it. So this document was actually created about 4 years ago. We should have been using it for the last 3 years, but there's been copyright problems with it. And the only reason I'm going to tell you that is because we had a presentation that was done here introducing the PARQ to our membership in March of last year. So again, I've been in touch with the writer of the PARQ, or the writing team of the PARQ, who has taken this worldwide. So this is not even just a Canadian screening tool, it's actually being used worldwide. Their definition of fitness leader is you guys. CSEP's version of fitness leader is CSEP. So when we gave the presentation originally, we had a CSEP member giving the presentation who said that this information could only be determined by a CSEP member. So that's why I wanted to point out the fact that this presentation is going to be a little bit different than that presentation, because basically low to moderate activity, everybody knows what that is. If it's more than that, so for instance, say my husband had a heart condition on top of the fact that he has a thyroid issue. Well, in that case, it would actually be in the directive that he could not participate in a class where there wasn't a CEP or a CSEP member or something that would require something a little bit higher. But what CSEP did is they said that the definition of fitness leader was CSEP members. Now in Manitoba, we don't actually have access to that anyway. If we had thousands of them and they were being paid by the government to actually be available to screen people, that would be amazing, and we would have everyone go through them. But unfortunately in Manitoba, number one, that's not an option, and number two, that's not the intent of this document. So that's something that's very interesting. So I encourage you to go home, try it out, try all kinds of different health conditions, ages, everything that you can kind of think of, so that you can really get familiar with this document, because people are going to ask you questions.
Are there copies of this on the website?
On our website, no, but you can actually get it right on their website, so it's available for download. But like I said, doing it online is by far the best possibility.
You could say 97% of people answer the next couple questions and then get put back in. So if even in your example of multiple health things,
Right. Then those people, like if there's a non-stable health condition, right? So if they have active cancer, they shouldn't be with a regular fitness leader doing a fitness class. And that's what this document is supposed to do. It's supposed to take those people and say, you are someone who needs a little bit more assistance or guidance with your physical activity. So that's the intent of this document. Let's see if I can get this back up and running here.
I asked because I called CSEP with that exact question that I just asked you, and they told me if they have tick one yes, somehow even with the other stuff, that a CPT can be watching that class. If they have more than one tick, then only a CEP can teach that class, was their answer.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what, I just know that there has been some,
I think that's right, actually.
That sounds sort of what she described it.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with all this crap.
Based on what they have on the CSEP website too.
I mean, there's lots, if you've got somebody that's on chemotherapy, the last thing you want to do is tell them, well, you can't come to my class, it's a recreational program, and there's all these nice people that you can talk to and relate to.
Yeah.
You can't come in, you gotta go one-on-one because you gotta have, that's crap.
yeah.
You know what you think?
Well,
I mean, it's a recreational program, we're not doing medical stuff here. I mean, we
Right.
want to encourage everybody to come. You don't want them to sit at home and get into a profession.
no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, from our standpoint, the Manitoba Fitness Council's mandate is to work with apparently healthy individuals. So that's how we figure out.
They just have cancer.
No, yeah,
I get it. I totally
Get the
get it. I
doctor
know.
to sign off, it's all good.
just get a
Yeah.
doctor
Yeah.
to sign it.
Yeah.
And most of them will, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to the doctor fairly often to get someone to sign it.
Yeah. And that's where it's just not your call as a fitness leader to say this person is sort of healthy, right? It's more that's why we have this screening tool, so that, and once they're cleared, I mean, if they're cleared by a CEP or they're cleared by a doctor, then you're totally in the clear to go. But the PARMED-X is no longer in existence. The PARMED-X for pregnancy is no longer in existence. So this is it. This is the document that is supposed to be used for all this kind of stuff.
Is this a standard form that the city uses and the private clubs use now?
So the city, I've talked to them about this. So basically, if any of you that teach in the city facilities, they have this old PARQ on a board in some of the facilities. I know I teach at a facility, there is not one there. I don't know, I think they might have missed it, but that's okay. So basically what they can do is they can put up this and then have the paper form available so that people could do it. We're still working with how that will roll out with the city, because they don't want to keep paper, so.
This would take an entire class to do.
Well, yeah, wouldn't it be better if people registered through the city for programs, to just send the website to people who registered and have them bring it to the class based on the computer, because you're right,
Yeah,
the explanation and everything for all of these questions.
I agree with you, it is a much more complicated form. But if they don't answer yes to any of them, they just do the front page and the back page, that's it. They don't have to even look at the other two pages. Sorry.
She also said the other night that if you currently have a form that your particular club uses, that's been, because every club still can have their own Part Q form. They don't have to use this one. And as long as they have the lawyers and everything else on it, she said that that was still a legal document. You don't have to use this. That's what she said the other night.
With the
A club
MSC,
does not have to use this.
As part of our scope of practice, this document is included in the MFC scope of practice. So,
That'll be categorized through the insurance that MFC uses.
Right.
That's why it has to
Correct.
be used.
correct. So, yeah,
Does the FFC have informed consent also, or is it just the Park U now?
we don't have to have informed consent,
Okay.
but we do have informed consent samples. If anybody wants to use them, we will freely give them. But yeah, we don't. We don't say you have to do so. Okay, so we're going to talk about some process changes. So basically, I mean, some of this is going to be kind of going back to the most basic level, but I kind of want to talk to you about changes. So I have lots of changes in red, so you'll see kind of things that happen. So we're obviously incorporated, we are nonprofit, which is why I have no techie gadgets. I just have a computer that sometimes works. So we're obviously the standard accrediting body for fitness leaders in Manitoba. We partner with organizations like the Y. We have a provincial representative of the National Fitness Leader Alliance. I'm actually the chairperson of the National Fitness Leaders Alliance, so if you have any questions about what goes on at the national level, you can ask me. Changes are lots of times agreed on at the national level. So some things that kind of come down the pipes where it's things like the number of CECs that are changing, that's based on the fact that we're not all in a line kind of nationally. So those types of changes kind of come down the pipes, and we agree at the national level that, you know, Manitoba will go up one, BC will come down one, and then we will come to an agreement. So that's kind of how that process works.
So Stephanie, we're back with the Y, because that for a while there that wasn't the case.
We partner with them in Winnipeg. So the Ys are actually quite different, right? Different places run differently, which I was a little bit surprised at, but that's just the way that their situation works. So in Winnipeg, we do partner with them. So we offer CECs, they offer CECs, we have some reciprocal kind of arrangements that way. But our certifications are not identical. They're pretty similar, but they're as close as anybody. So I mean, if we were looking at all the different certification agents across Canada, the Ys are closest kind of person.
So if somebody takes their classes and, or the courses they pass, can they automatically come to MSC and get certified through them, or do they have to go through a process?
We're a little bit picky. We don't automatically allow anybody in. I almost feel like I should be embarrassed about that, but I'm not. Even when you have a kinesiology degree, if you didn't take courses that were similar to what we have, we still make you challenge the exams. We don't make you take the courses. We don't feel that's fair. But just as that entrance requirement, you need to be able to write our exams and pass them. And then the practical evaluation is non-negotiable. So practical evaluation has to be done. Again, you know, going back to our discussion from the 6 o'clock class, you know, someone may have been teaching for 15 years, but it doesn't mean that they were a good instructor, right? Or a safe instructor, or, you know, who taught them and what was their processes. So the practical evaluation is that we don't allow people to skip over that. So we establish the scope, standards of practice, direction for fitness leadership, appraisal, education, consulting, that sort of thing. So right now we have 657 plus 3, I think, that are downstairs. So 660 members in the province of Manitoba, which again seems like a lot. And so this is not, they're all added together. So that doesn't mean, you know, Gail, who has 5 certifications, that she's 5 members. She's only 1 member within this kind of piece. So then we also partner with CSEP. So again, we are providing more support, continuing education credits, that sort of thing. But that's kind of where our relationship.
Stephanie,
grows.
how many of those are CSEP?
220. So group fitness. So I put some of the things in here. Old group fitness no longer exists. So if you have group fitness, that doesn't mean any change to what you currently have. We just don't teach the course that way anymore. So you still retain what you have. So those that have the old group fitness, they don't have to do anything. The certification has been broken down into 4 new pieces. So the 4 new pieces are right here. So I tried to make it clear so that you could understand kind of how the process works. So the first change here, fitness theory is no longer called fitness theory, it's now called exercise theory. So that's again something from the national level. Everybody else was calling it exercise theory except us. So we said, okay, fine, we'll change. So then from there they can do a course. So this course is available in the classroom. They can do it by distance ed, so there's webinars available for it. This one here, so this is basically how to teach a group. So it's how to use music. There's nothing active that's particularly done in this part. So it's how to lead, adult learning styles, how do you work with adults, that sort of thing. So this is an 8-hour course and it's available in a classroom. It's also available online. So this one is available in pre-recorded webinars as well, so people can register and take this one at home. We always, if people have the opportunity to take it in the classroom, we push them that way. Because you can't get the same information from a webinar. You can't ask questions, but if this is the only option that you have, then we allow people to do that. Sorry.
How much is it for the webinars?
This one I think is around $100 plus a textbook. I'm terrible with prices. That's Tina's job. I have a poster on my office. So people ask me, I'm like, yeah. So we try to make it comparable. So we don't say it's like $10 so that they won't take a classroom class. So basically we kind of make it somewhat comparable. And again, trying to push them all the ways to the classroom classes if that's an option for them. And then you have 3 choices after that. So this is the first course, and then you have group cycle. Everybody knows what that is. Choreography and steps, so that's kind of like the old group fitness. And then we have sport conditioning, which is brand new. So sport conditioning, rural people? Okay, rural people? Okay. So this one technically, for the most part, was designed with the rural population in mind. So what do I do in a school gym with a ghetto blaster and I have 0 choreography skills? Right? That's basically what this one is. So it's focusing on body weight, big open space, you know, what can I do? That's not choreography. Because choreography takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time to be able to teach a class. And especially in a rural community, if you don't have a class that you can attend or someone that you can work with, we find that the choreography and step is one of the more challenging pieces. So sport conditioning is a great addition to that family, and the uptake on that one is starting to be pretty good. But again, it kind of takes a little while to get out there. We could have called it boot camp, because it's kind of something like that, but we didn't want to have it in that whole realm.
That's it. That's inclusive.
Sport conditioning?
Yeah.
Because now there's Tabata, there's HIIT.
Yeah.
Puts everything in one basket. It's
Yeah. So that's kind of those new programs. So I've kind of gone through it a little bit, but basically it's circuit training kind of stuff, inside or outside, mostly body weight. Now that's not the right picture for it because the guy's using weights and a ball because they don't have those for the most part, right? Everybody knows what choreography and step is. We got 2 of our evaluators actually in these pictures. I didn't do that on purpose, actually. They were already in this presentation. Everybody knows what group cycle is. So one of the funny things about group cycle is that for years and years, one of the biggest reasons that we kind of came to this change is we had a number of people who would say, I really want to get group fitness certified with you, but I am not doing choreography. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. So that's why we kind of went with this one. And this one is one of our more popular, again, new pieces. So anyone who has group fitness and wants to take one of these courses, you obviously don't have to take group fundamentals, or maybe that's not super obvious. So if you have group fitness, you get to bypass this one and just take whatever the course is. Now,